Hey guys, Rob Skiba here for another Seed behind the scenes video, and this one we're going to take a look at collaboration on music and sound design and working with my new friends Edward King and Morne Marais. And it was really cool getting to meet these two guys in person. And actually when Morne Tennyson and I first got there, they were outside and we came up behind them and kind of surprised them, and then we got to get a tour of Johan's Post City facilities. And so what you're going to see in this video is a bunch of kids playing with really cool toys and what it looks like to collaborate with creative minds to bring a vision to life. Alright, so here we go.
Look at these two.
Hey! Hi, how's it going? Nice to meet you. Hey! It's funny how you know who we are, eh?
Yeah. We had a virtual meetup.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been here, but nice to be behind the scenes. Good vandaag.
That used to be the old projector booths, because this used to be from the 1939 they built the cinema. It was one of the first cinemas in the country. It was actually a 900-seater cinema, which then got split into 3 cinemas. And then I think around 15 years ago a church bought it. So they have the main cinema in front, which I'll show you a bit later, as their church. And then we've rented the space, and then we also have a space that we're getting in Jan that's down this area with parking and where all our edit suites and animation suites and stuff will be. And then upstairs, as you've been on the floor now, is our little composition suite, and then above that on the 3rd floor is our new music suite that we currently starting construction.
So is Matt and those guys coming here too?
They will, when we work on projects together, it will all happen here.
Oh, okay. Wow, dude. Those are all your sound effects going on there?
Times this by 20 when we're done with it.
Oh, for sure. When I did my audio drama in 2014, I did all in Premiere, but it looked very similar to that.
I know, it gets quite busy when, I'm sure it will be very busy when we there. Okay, but must I just play it for you guys?
Yeah,
Must I play it with the guide voice in, or?
I think so, man.
Yeah.
You get a whole feel of it.
Sorry, this is not a mix, guys. Just spots. Where do you switch it off? Or must I just keep it on?
Just in the middle on the bottom. No, he wants to see it there.
Okay, great. Go.
Look at that sunset. Nice. Sure beats Hell's Kitchen, eh, Thompson? You kidding? This place is paradise by comparison. I heard that. Yeah, let's hope it stays that way.
It's going to be really cool. So I don't think I did get that email from you. You know what I was talking about?
Yeah, definitely.
What was it, Fury and Fire or Fire and
Fury?
That ticking clock kind of sounded. I mean, it sounded like there was a plane in the background. And you had that ticking clock kind of sound to it. It's not going to really affect the overall timing of what we've done, but that scene's going to be a lot more hectic.
Yeah.
So there'll be a little bit more added
Which
to
scene
it.
is that now? Sorry,
The fight scene.
Oh, the
Well,
fight
you know,
scene.
okay, so, you know, scratch that, we've got incoming. Hey, you know, if this gets in the wrong hands, you know, yeah, no. In my draft that I sent you guys, we kind of went from this high intensity to this kind of laid back. Yeah, okay, home and beacon set. You are.
Yeah.
The timing was like the feeling was wrong.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, I got to keep it up. I got to keep the intensity up. And he had a piece on his website, Fire and Fury. He had a perfect piece of music on there, and a part of that music had what almost sounded like an airplane in the background. It's kind of this drone like sound of wow in the background, but it had this kind of drum beat kind of thing going on.
Like a didgeridoo.
It had the sound of a ticking clock, like it's urgency.
Okay.
So I'm like, if we could kind of take elements of what he did on that piece and put that there in terms of the music of that part and speed that sequence up. So it's more like home and beacon set, opening bay doors instead of home and beacon set. Open a bay door. You know, that there'll be more we can do in that space to keep it a little bit more. It's a book called Mysteries of the Solomon Islands that I actually bought. It was published the same year I started working on Seed in 2009. This book was published in 2009. That's true stories about the Solomon Islands. Now, I was aware of giants in the Solomon Islands. That's why I wrote the Seed.
Aliens.
Because Seed is fact-based fiction, so I'm always trying to find real-life stuff that I can just expand on and get creative with. And I did a radio show with a guy a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me about this book. I'm like, I think I have that book. And I looked, sure enough, it's on my shelf, right? Wow. Like, it's been sitting there for 10 years, right? So I'm only like 70 pages into it. Oh my God, I got like 3 seasons worth of content in just in this one book. The story material that's in here is just crazy cool.
Sounds awesome.
Nice.
So what I'm going to do with the dogfight thing is I'm going to just cut together like an MP4 of some cool reference shots. Because I showed Matt, I was like, there's some really just great shots that it's all CGI anyway. So I was like, let's just emulate some of this. And those are all based on real life dogfight stuff. So we could turn Lieutenant Knight into a little bit of a Top Gun type guy. You know, instead of just a pilot of a cool plane that gets shot down. Give him something cool to do.
For certain scenes, what we need to come up with is some tempo music, not final stuff, but just some tempo music in terms of the pace that you're thinking of this stuff needing to happen. So when we start to do the blocking and the cuts at the end of the day, that we have some pace that we cut to, then we can then score to. Because obviously it just makes it just gets easier to score if it was cut to a specific pace.
For sure.
Which I think is
what you guys got going already is just awesome. Cool. Like, it's fantastic. When I first listened to that first piece of music, in the beginning, of course, it's all just very passive, it's just passive, it's nice. And then when it almost sounds like the plane. Like, I got a wave of goosebumps. I'm like, oh my God, it's fantastic.
Nice.
Then I listened to your stuff too. Like, the first time I only heard the early draft, and then I saw the folder you had in there for the November 29 update. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that. That's when, because I had already sent you notes on stuff that you already did. After I listened to it, I'm like, oh, you already did it.
But the nice thing is, Edward and I, we work like 5 meters from each other.
Okay.
So we go to each other and we like discuss what we want to, the elements in both of it. So we bring it in the music, we bring it in the sound design, and we're going to blend everything in. But there's a little surprise that we are talking about also while when the animation is done.
Okay.
That we're going to try and do that I haven't heard before. So.
Okay. Well, I'm excited.
I love that.
I've been pleasantly surprised already. So
that sound when the plane comes in for the crash.
It's my favorite.
Oh yes, Transformer.
Well, I created
that was very Transformer slash was it Phantom Menace during the
but you see,
during the race sequence with the pod races.
Yeah.
So that was a gamble from my part, because remember in the meeting I asked you if it needs to be realistic sounds. So that was what I was referring. That's not realistic. So, but I just had to bring it in and see what you say.
It's realistic enough. So. You imagine an engine going underwater a little bit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Also, propeller like flying by.
Definitely.
Well, and that's what I gotta talk to them about, because they've got the way they damaged the model. It's more damaged than what I had envisioned, but I'm like, hey, it looks cool, So I'm thinking, well, maybe when he's coming in, he nicks a tree or something, because the wing that's sticking out of the water, they've got it kind of bent up, like it's been jacked up. And I was thinking, well, it would be the other way around. The wing that's in the water would be more jacked up. But I'm thinking, well, what if the one they're coming in, he nicks a tree or something? I don't know. We can get creative with it, but and if that propeller hits some rocks or something, and things, a propeller comes flying at you, or
And
something.
maybe like a wheel coming past you, tongue.
Yeah.
What I love about it is everybody in their field is pushing the
envelope.
and it's great because it brings something more than you expected.
Yeah, they were all, because we did like an interview with Matt, sort of like what you and Morne did, and just sort of talking with each of the programmers and stuff, and they all love the project because it's something they are free. Like, I'm not micromanaging this. I'm like, look, I want your creativity, go for it. So they're all really excited to give it their all, So tomorrow we're doing just the facial capture.
Yeah, facial capture. We're recording the dialogue and then obviously, filming it with all the markers and stuff to get all the detail on as much detail as we can on the faces. Obviously, the rest will be animated.
Okay.
What we were talking about for the Japanese, because obviously we haven't been able to get someone available in this time frame. So what Hilton said, obviously the movements and stuff is all at the end of the day the same. So I was thinking of getting a very nice actor that's on your team that comes in now and then. He has a camera in his hand, kind of thing at the moment. To do some of the Japanese words for us, just so we can get the camera.
Terrified. There's a giant about to rip my buddy up.
And then what we'll do is we'll just either, if we can find someone here, and we'll dub it here, or we'll just dub it in Japan and then bring it over. I've already chatted to one of the studios that I work with there to do it if we need it. Yeah,
really.
Just the dialogue, because once we got the facials, I mean, it's all translatable.
Right.
But to get the right dialects and stuff. We might just do that.
I use Google Translate, so I don't even know if the words are right.
No, the words aren't right. We've checked it, and it's not.
Yeah, that's Google Translate. Like I put the English there, it said Japanese, and that's what spit out. So I just,
No, my brother actually speaks a little Japanese, and he was like,
"What is that?"
This is like, okay, this is not saying what we're guessing it's saying. It's like something like the tea is ready, and it's like,
oh God, can you pass me the watermelon? So I guess Google Translate is not very trustworthy.
So tomorrow when we do the voices, are you going to go, this scene may be a little longer, this one a little shorter, and we cut things up and make it...
Yeah, I mean, first thing would be to get the performance right.
Okay.
And then it's like, okay, is this working? Is this not working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do everything and then do the cutting.
Yeah, in fact, if I can get the raw footage or the raw recording, then I can pick because we'll do multiple takes, I'm sure. I can pick the ones I like and then cut it together as a rough audio and then just send it to you so you know what the time is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out with the sound design that we've done, with the music, how are we going to...
No, we not for look, this is all animatic status.
Okay.
So the main important thing is getting the dialogue timing right. So we'll use this, but if we need to change anything on this, we're going to change it.
Yeah.
The important thing tomorrow is to get the performance, because at the end of the day, that's the carrying part, and then we'll move everything else around. So we're not going to be working with the sound effects tomorrow.
Okay, great. Okay.
We'll play it to the guys beforehand so they can get a feel, they can get into it.
Okay.
Then basically we go into a brand new session.
Okay, great. Okay.
And we are focusing dialogue only, getting that to a point where we are 100% happy with the storytelling part of it.
Cool.
And make sure that every little, because obviously there is some silent piece in between, so we'll focus on every scene where there's dialogue to get that scene working. And then we can, and so we obviously we'll give you all the takes and everything, but I think if we can work towards comping as we go, it will help a lot in terms of making sure that we got everything we have. Otherwise, it does sometimes happen where you think you've got it, and then we go and get into the comp, and then you don't. So I would say before the actors leave, we actually want to be, I would say, 98% sure we got everything. We do have a type of a callback with the actors where we can fix a dialect thing, or we can fix the main thing for tomorrow is the facial capture. So the animation has to work, but if we can
kind of hit two flies with one bat, it would be ideal. But if we had to fix some dialogue piece because of performance thing, of a dialect thing, that's not a problem. That we can fix afterwards. Because we don't have to bring them in here. They can literally be where they are, and we can just drop those lines in and then do an EQ match on it and a room tone match. So.
Yep. The one rehearsal that I was able to do with them last week, it went good. It went good. There's a few phrases that everybody except Catalano, so it would be Matthew and Greg, both had some dialect issues a few times, but nothing that a few rehearsals couldn't cure, I don't think. You know.
A different type of like these like instrument packs, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So you got like libraries of different, like these are all orchestra libraries. This is a cello library.
Oh, that's so
orchestra
cool.
stuff. Then obviously you get like from percussion to everything else. But it's
very cool.
Incredibly lifelike as well. I mean.
Oh, so you get samples for. Wow.
So it's
Morne,
just
you
like
can
a
easily
second
sit.
violin
Yes,
patch. Then obviously, this is my favorite little toy. Probably the best thing I've ever, how can I say, like bought in my whole life.
What is that?
So it's a 5-dimensional touch MIDI controller. So for instance, that's how I got like the airplane sounds and stuff too.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I have this.
So is your office in there, or
I'm actually in Cape Town itself.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're in Cape Town, yeah.
Oh, okay. You have your own studio set up over there?
Yeah.
Watch that guy, he slides his fingers.
Cool. Nice.
So you can do like little slides and stuff.
Yeah, you can do
just trying to see
cool
what's-
atmospheric type sounds.
Okay.
Yeah. What's up, Ming the Merciless? It's totally like Flash Gordon, you know? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
It was before your time, probably.
No, but I still watched it.
Yeah.
I love it.
As soon as they get into, yeah.
Savior of the universe.
Dun, 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 dun. They had a lot of that kind of sound though, like when you first walked into Ming's palace.
Yeah. Those gongs and stuff as well.
I'm such a geek. I'll actually listen to that in my car. I have like it's like a half-hour long soundtrack that Queen did. You know.
That's it. I mean, I listen to so many soundtracks. I mean,
My wife gets my car. She's like, "What the heck are you listening to?" It's like Flash Gordon. It gives me inspiration. What else?
My wife also, she shakes her head. She doesn't even say anything.
yeah.
Like, oh, there he goes again. Boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. This is 50, but in here I'm 18.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes I'm 7.
But what I have here for now is more.
Oh yeah.
It's more sound designy score for this scene specifically. But I'm just gonna play from the top.
Okay.
Then we can just delve into it a bit.
Hold on a second. There's a what? Oh, I was telling Morne. This is going to be the teaser for episode 1, right? So, in that sense, I don't need to. For a standalone piece, there's a little more I have to add to it for it to make sense. For it to be the teaser, you know, what I have is great because it's going to be elaborated on later throughout the TV series. But as a standalone promotional piece, I'm going to have the actor Lieutenant Kane. We'll probably have to pitch his voice down so it's as if he's older.
Okay.
But in the beginning, and I don't have the exact dialogue memorized, but I wrote a little thing in the beginning, so maybe it's sort of a drone in the beginning, like a really low, before that.
Mm-hmm.
Before the okay.
Yeah, so, and he says, you know, something to the effect of, I used to believe that gods and monsters were just the product of myth and fairy tales. I was wrong. And then that's all in black. So it's just sort of that sound, him saying that in black. And then we slowly fade from black for that tilt down in that music.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when they're having the face-off, because as it is, I think if we can do the animation right, it may stand alone fine. That hopefully the audience will get it. That you just could tell that through their expressions. That's why I have like, the classic, close up with the eyeballs. They're both kind of looking at each other, like they're thinking. But I've given him a voiceover for that part. Also, you have bookends. You have the intro voiceover at the end, where he says something to the effect of, I think at that moment we both realized enough blood has been shed already. Our friends are dead, paradise was lost, and maybe we aren't the enemy after all anyway. Something like that. So I may or may not use it. I need to get it so that I have it.
Yeah, so you can see how it works.
Yeah, so you can get what they're thinking. But then later, especially after reading this book, I'm like, I wasn't going to do anything more with these characters. It was just, that's a setup for Act 1. In Act 1, Lieutenant Kane's son is giving a seminar, and he's talking about whether we're talking about the hybrid creatures and gods of antiquity or my father's encounter in the Solomon Islands, and his picture is up on the screen.
Okay.
One thing is certain, we're not alone. So he's doing this. And then
this is kind of a prequel to...
This is like a prologue.
Okay.
So it was really always just intended to be a setup for one of the main characters in the modern timeline. It starts out actually in the year 2002.
Show me a script book.
Yeah, I will definitely do that. In the year 2002.
Yeah.
So, we're jumping from 1942 to 2002. The rest of the story, and then after episode 3, we jump to 2010. So the series eventually catches up to real life time, but there are specific time zones where real things happened in real life that I'm stylizing like we did with this.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to say that there might possibly be maybe a little foreboding drone in the beginning before we get into this nicer.
Definitely. I think I might actually have something. Obviously, I can find something that works a bit better.
I love stuff like that. If I had this at home, I'd drive my wife crazy. I'd just be doing stuff like that all day. Oh God, this is awesome.
No, it's really fun. Like this little thing that does so much.
That's great.
Can I put on the voices as well? Obviously, the dynamic is a bit all.
So it would just be aware it's 5 minutes, so I don't want.
I think they say UPS on.
Yeah.
Is there UPS? Yeah. Okay. All right. Then you.
This is, of course, my Star Wars tilt down from the text. That's me going. That's what you do too. Yeah.
Nice. Beats Hell's Kitchen, eh, Thompson? You kidding? This place is paradise by comparison. I heard that. Yeah, let's hope it stays that way. Alright, boys, it's getting late. We got everything we need? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm heading back. I was thinking, after the war, we can... Uh-oh. What's the matter? We've got company. Looks like a couple of Zeeks. Where? 6 o'clock high. I don't think they've spotted us yet, though. Yeah, they're probably out of fuel. Head back to Rebel. Yeah, with any luck, they're out of ammo, too. That's what I like about you, Thompson. Always outdoors. Alright, we better get a grid on this. Calls you want to know we've got contact this far south. Way ahead of you, boss. Keep an eye on him, Cat. I'm gonna... Scratch that. We've got it coming. The right idea was to send us out here without a wingman.
this is where that fire and fury, we kind of get more, I'm going to have to cut a lot faster here than what I got right here. Because what I might do is add skid right here. Because he's got to slow down, he's got to get down and do the drop. So I'll show you some clips of what I'm thinking from that other TV series. So all this music right here will still be
Still going on as well.
like
with
very,
the drop as well.
Yeah, well, the drop we might allow that to be. We'll have to see what the actual final cut looks like.
Yeah, do you see?
Because that's gonna be quick too. Because we're gonna show the thing kind of going out from the inside. We're looking at him pushing it forward.
Yeah.
Then cut the interior and it coming at us, and then the quick disconnects. The wires coming.
Yeah.
It's gonna be frantic.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it may be one of those deals where we kind of just follow it.
As it goes.
Because right here, I just have it like it's as if it's dropping in the frame.
Okay.
But it may be more like we just kind of follow it out. You know.
Yeah, that's it. Because then the music intensity can definitely.
Yeah, you can keep that
go
very
on,
up. Keep the whole thing.
Because what I have here for this extra piece that I put in, well,
Oh, you got it like that.
but then this is kind of like, I was thinking I can start this earlier and kind of build it out as it goes more with the ticking and stuff like that.
There's a clip too where a guy's talking about his plane getting hit. He said it sounds like somebody throws a whole pile of pebbles onto a tin shed, like an outdoor storage shed. You can imagine just throwing a pile of rocks on it. He goes, that's what it sounds like when your airplane gets hit. Like I got a guy actually in World War II describing that.
DeBlanc forces his Wildcat into an aerial skid. In effect, he's slamming on his brakes, trying to force his
Nails it before he's ahead. That's what it seems like. He does a skid like that, and it's coming by. I just had Calhoun whip on like that.
That will work so well with the Atmos.
Yeah.
Especially that
Well,
bridge,
yeah,
because you can board it up to that
You can
point
do
of
some,
like.
even if it's not realistic.
Yeah,
Just make it
definitely gonna blend.
Just make it some kind, almost like a, kind of something.
I already have an idea what I want to do with the Coke bottle.
This is a cool shot.
You have a break as well in the music to kind of hold it up to that point. You skip
You build it up and then bring it down and just.
Maybe a blend from the percussion again to the.
Yeah.
well with the Grumman. There's only one protection I have. Flying straight, I couldn't do it because you can overtake me. Rolling up, I couldn't do it because you had the broadside. Over here, when you pull up and you stall and come down, you can get to there. So with only one option that I have to have, is the option is to fool it.
Cool shot.
Forces his Wildcat.
You had the two Japanese behind him.
In fact, he's slamming on his brakes, trying to force his
And that one goes down.
And he was coming too fast.
So the lead one gets hit. The other one's not going to take the bait. He's going to stay back a little bit and do his own kind of skid thing so that he can still fight against him.
Like you don't really feel the low end as much in this room. But this has a serious low end. Because like if you put this into the sub, like the whole cinema is just kind of like really.
It's like a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what you want.
And the same with the percussion hits as well, because I layered quite a few percussion hits. Like these are all percussion, this is percussion, that's percussion, and these are all kind of like the lower hits. Sorry, it's not that.
What software are you using, by the way?
Well, I'm running Cubase for my DAW, but like I said, all there's a lot of different VSTs and so on.
Cubase is the name of the software?
Yeah, and
Cubase.
then I use Contact 5, just for my VST patching and so on. Really helpful piece of software. And then from there on you can like load audio libraries and kind of go from there. So these are all other independent
Samples?
yeah, independent sample packs and VSTs and stuff made by different companies like Sonic Kinetic and Project Sam and so on. But then they run obviously through Contact, so you can use it into your recording software. This idea coming now, and then spread that out from the beginning, and then kind of build it out more with the tickings and stuff like that. Because what's nice when you hear is you get that sense of fear and emotion in the email that I sent you, is to kind of still keep that fearfulness, but also kind of, because his friend gets shot, you know, it's like you're trapped in this kind of like emotional conflict.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot quicker, more things going on, because he's got to get that chair back, and he's like, you know, it's going to be pretty fast. I like that. Yeah, I love that. The music itself almost sounds like the propeller.
Yeah.
The propeller's got.
And I've got, I did like these pitch drops. Obviously, you won't hear it as nicely here as in the cinema, but I'm just gonna solo them. So you have these like lovely kind of this droning, and then what it does. Kind of like as the plane is descending. But I like the kind of fact that obviously like as we into the crash, it will kind of like go on from there. But especially this side, because it has kind of like ticking. But what stood out for me, especially within the mix, because it's going to be totally chaotic with the gunshots and stuff, kind of like throughout the whole fight scene. It's kind of has something that kicks through on the lower end. Like this has a lot of sub in it. Like I said,
I love that.
And it kind of like
you feel that it's almost like your heart is racing.
Exactly, because you'll feel that like low end kind of like punching through.
Yeah, I love that.
But then this to stretch it out, get like the stickings and more percussion stuff going on as well.
Yeah, try to send me that email again if you can, because I'm positive I didn't get it.
Definitely, no, I'll see. No, I had some troubles with Afrios for outgoing mails and stuff.
So awesome. I almost don't even want to put dialogue in it. I just want to listen to the music. You haven't done a whole lot yet, or have you, on the jungle sequences?
No, on the crash I haven't gotten to yet, but my idea is to
point
kind of have like this. So I'm just gonna... It's also to kind of have like that similar...
Can I have one of those? That's all I would do all day.
So obviously as they come in, you get like this kind of like...
almost the sound of the airplane.
Exactly, coming in until we get to the tone where we are on, and then from there on, it's more silent until they start firing, because then I'll bring in, or depending on obviously how you kind of...
Because from that point, it would be good just to hold off on music here.
Yeah.
We're even right up, like you said, up until the point where the Japanese come around the corner and start shooting at him.
Yeah.
Because we could get kind of over the top of it I think it's better just leave it. We'll have to see. But
Yeah.
I think there's some good drama there where he's just seeing his friends.
Exactly,
and
because
whatever,
it
just let
especially with the crash, because it goes from, and I like the dynamic we have. Before we cut to the silence where the gecko kind of peeks up behind the rock, you have kind of this massive dynamic growing, cutting to nothing, growing again as the plane crashes in. Then I think that's probably going to be the loudest, impactful kind of like crash, because you're going to work in with percussion and obviously with all the sound design and so on. And then from there on to maybe leave it, like I said, silent, because then you have like the dripping water, you have more like the crash noises.
And your
kind of like hanging around.
ambiance sound when he's in the cockpit there with the water just kind of outside.
Yeah, and like the fire burning.
It's awesome.
Seed is our effort to take all of my research over the past couple of decades and to put it into a mainstream television production that can literally reach millions of people. And this has only been made possible by our supporters over the years. And again, I can't thank you enough. You know who you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you'd like to see this project continue beyond the teaser and you'd like to sow into Seed as well, you can do so by clicking the link in the description below. If you click on that link, it takes you to the main page of our website, and there you can scroll down and you'll see right away there are several options for you to check out. If you're unfamiliar with the project, you can click on the Seed development, read the general overview. If you'd like to read what happens after the teaser, you can click on the PDF here and read the first script in the series for free. And if you missed the audio drama we did back in 2014, you can click on there. You can click to get on our email list, check out our previous Seed updates and blogs to see our recent progress. And if you want to know about our research, you can click on that link right there. That will take you to our Seed store, where you'll see right at the top here I've got our the first 4 scripts of the series put together in a book, and several different versions of it, sort of a basic version, a special edition version, and a limited collector's edition version, numbered and signed by me. And of course we got other Seed merchandise you can check out there, and then you get to the section of the research behind Seed. If you want to know what Seed's about, well, here you go. It's pretty much anything I've written about, done conferences about, talked about on my YouTube channel and radio shows, and all of those resources are available here on our Seed website and various package deals that you could take advantage of if you so desire. Now, going back to the main page, keep scrolling down. There's a video, What is Seed? It's a video I did back in 2010 explaining the project, other parts of the project, the comic book, the fiction novels, the video games, of course the TV series, the goals, where we are in our fundraising, and finally get to where it says Be a Sower. This is how you can contribute to the project if you so desire. If you believe in what we're doing, then you can get behind us by clicking on any of these 4 links right here. If you want to pay by PayPal or credit card, you can click on option number 1. If you'd rather send a check or money order, you can click option 2. If you'd like to contribute with crypto, you can use option 3. And if you want a tax-deductible contribution you can write off, you can click on option number 4. Now, we are not a 501c3, but we are sort of underneath one as a subcontractor with Mountain Movers International. So if you click on that link, it takes you to the Mountain Movers PayPal account, and there you can make a contribution. Mountain Movers takes 8% and an admin fee, covers the credit card fees, as well as helps to support their ministry. So if you want to read more about what they do, you can go to mountainmovers.org, see what they're doing, and 8% of your contribution goes towards helping them, or about 5% after the credit cards get their cut, and then the rest they send to us at the end of the month. So if you're looking for a tax deduction for the end of the year and you believe in what we're trying to do here, you can use option number 4, or if you just want to contribute another way, use one of the other 3 options. Either way, we thank you, and stay tuned for the next Seed update coming soon.